What's going on, guys? Legendary here, back with another video. And oh my goodness, Facebook, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on with Zuckerberg? What the hell? All I gotta say is, what the frick is going on here?
Problems for big tech. Shares of Meta, the parent company of Facebook, plunging 24% today. The company losing about $268 billion in value,
What
all in a single
the
day.
hell is going on with that? Wow. 600 billion. Like, what the hell is going on over here with that, man? What in the blue living check mark, son of a gun? Like, holy fucking woo! That's all I can say, man. But wow, golly, man, that's a lot of money gone, just washed. Oh, and good. He's talking about it too. Young. Here we go. Let's see.
Meta, as if the L's have been taking lately weren't bad enough, things just got a whole lot worse with their latest earnings report. But before then, for those who haven't been keeping track, from Meta freezing hiring employees because the whole Reality Labs segment of Meta hasn't been doing well, to the way that Horizon Worlds and
yeah, that right there. Buggy employees. And not on top of this thing was supposed to be like, Zuckerberg was like, I don't know, he was like grinding for it. He was so obsessed with it. He was like, oh, that's gonna be the new big thing and all that. And I'm like, don't you have to have money to buy into your metaverse? Like, you need like a headset and, you know, stuff. It's just literally like the Connect on the Xbox. When the Xbox had this little thing, he was like, try to force you to have a Connect, and it was so expensive. And people didn't want to buy it because, you know, they didn't want to use that.
Meta's metaverse plans have been unappealing to employees who have to be begged into using Meta's Horizon Worlds metaverse and falling in love with it, to metaverse users not finding it appealing, with many of them dropping out after a month, resulting in worlds being empty and the user base actually declining rather than growing. Turmoil between executives within Meta, with folks like John Carmack speaking out against how poorly money has been spent.
Yes, plus it's not appealing. It looks like an old ass what is it? How can I put this lightly? It looks like freaking it looks like an old Yahoo little avatars. It looks like, that's what it looks like. It's like an old ass. If everybody remember Yard 2, let me find it. Hold up. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of one of these. It looks like it kind of looks like this, like the old freaking avatars they had for Yahoo and stuff, man. It looks so weird, you know? It's like, what? It might just like it's like a 3D model of these things. It's just And of course, I think Young is going to explain even more into detail
and
about
how
this.
the vision of this metaverse is just not quite right. Headlines about skepticism, confusion, and frustration within Meta. Questionable moves like the Quest Pro VR headset that's $1,500. It's 3 times more than the...
Yeah, this is so stupid. This right here is why your verse will die. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Zuckerberg? What the hell is this? This is not a video card. This is literally like a video card, or literally just a gaming PC setup, really. You're literally just buying a gaming PC setup, but with a headset and the supposedly metaverse, which you could literally just be on VR chat and there you go. You know? Get on VR chat without a damn headset and you're good to go.
The Quest 2, despite being only 50% more powerful than the Meta Quest 2. And sure, it does have, augmented reality tech and more sensors and all these things, but this product is certainly not going to accelerate VR and metaverse adoption. Poor PR as a result of just how far behind Horizon Worlds is technologically,
like
with
3D,
Mark Zuckerberg only just having announced full-body avatars with legs, something that PlayStation Home had back in 2007, resulting in people bringing...
I was literally about to say, PlayStation Home is literally, this is literally that, but I guess I don't want to say it's like a 2.0. I think it's like a 0.1.
up things like how embarrassingly bad the graphics of Horizon
at it.
Worlds are. Mark Zuckerberg tried to do damage control by showing, you know, a future vision of character models in Horizon Worlds, of graphics in Horizon Worlds. But what we have now for an upcoming update to avatars is this, which still looks pretty uncanny and ugly, and this is not how I'd want to interact with people on a daily basis. The short of it is that, as IGN's headline put it here, the metaverse has had a very bad week, and there's a summary of everything that's transpired over the past few months in this article for those who want to check it out. And then just yesterday, Phil Spencer spoke to the Wall Street Journal, and he put it very aptly in terms of what his thoughts are of Meta's metaverse pursuits. Today, it's a poorly built video game, he called Horizon Worlds, or just the metaverse in general. Building a metaverse that's like a living room is not how I want to spend my time. What I see in the metaverse world is that we're at the early stage, and this will evolve. Now, whether it'll evolve fast enough and substantially enough that one day people will be interested in the idea of a...
Yeah, but they're not, because it's overpriced, it's way too expensive, and it doesn't look good. Your presentation has to be a good-looking game, good graphics, and pleasing to the eyes. It already failed failed all those. It failed all of them.
Metaverse remains to be seen, but so far, everything about the metaverse has been
We're literally like in, I won't even call it alpha. It's just like you ain't building nothing.
And they've yet to present any use case that actually feels like it makes things more practical to do things in the metaverse than just, you know, doing things in real life. Don't get me wrong, there are specific use cases where I can see a virtual world environment being useful.
You might as well just play Second Life or maybe The Sims. Hell, that's better for you, you know? Hello.
But things like working in the metaverse and hosting, you know, video calls in the metaverse, why not just turn on the camera like this? It's way easier and faster and more efficient that way. All of this finally brings us to how Meta has been doing financially, and the headline here speaks for itself. This is from CBS News. It reads right here, Meta's value has plunged by $700 billion. Wall Street calls it a train wreck. $700 billion is just such an astronomical number that I don't think it's possible to grasp the full scope of just how much money that is. For those who've never gotten close to dealing with this sum of money, it's a lot of freaking money. This is following a 24% tumbling of shares on Thursday that has resulted in Meta shares reaching the lowest levels in nearly 4 years, following an earnings report that one Wall Street analyst described as a train wreck. Now, technology company stocks in general just haven't been in a good place right now due to the current economic situation. But even by those standards, Meta stock has been plunging in a way that it outpaces the overall sector, with its shares down 67% from a year earlier compared with the tech-heavy Nasdaq's 31% slide over the same period. Meta's plunge translates into an eye-popping loss of about $700 billion in market value. As for how that translates when it comes to Meta's overall market value, we're talking about a company that was once worth over $1 trillion in September of 2021, and that value has shrunk significantly to $268 billion.
Yep, like I said, that's a lot of freaking money. You in the trillion bracket, you getting a lot of money, like way too much. You can literally buy a damn city, you know, all this damn money. Have like a small, like, you could be Dr. Doom and Sylvia or something like that. I don't know, something. Planet Hulk or something. Do something. Jeez. That's too much. And yeah, your money gone.
Investors are getting sick and tired of Meta's spending antics and their lack of focus and the fact that they're betting so much on something that...
I don't think it's even a lack of focus. I think it's just like a project for Zuckerberg and by himself, and he wants everybody to have money for Metaverse, but everything is overpriced, doesn't look good, presentation doesn't look good, nothing to do. You literally can do exactly that in the real world, so why you need to use anything in the verse?
That so far hasn't shown any optimistic results. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives put it as follows: Meta's results last night was an absolute train wreck that speaks to pervasive digital advertising doldrums ahead of Zuckerberg and company as they make the risky and head-scratching bet on the metaverse. Head-scratching is a bit of an understatement, given that so far in the last 9 months, Meta has lost $9.4 billion on its metaverse unit, Reality Labs. It expects the unit to have significantly wider operating losses in 2023, the company said on Wednesday. The company informed investors, oh, it's about to get worse, by the way. And yet Zuckerberg still insists to investors that he's pretty confident this is going in a good direction. Really now, Mark. I don't have to be an investor to not be surprised by the fact that...
Like, yo. Hey, nobody stay calm. Everybody stay the hell calm. Stay the frick down. Everybody calm down. It's happening, but it's calm down.
Investors aren't convinced. The metaverse as a product and service makes no sense, and as far as the investor side of things go, the stock value shows the complete lack of confidence in Mark Zuckerberg's vision. And for users and consumers, same thing. They aren't exactly flocking to the fledgling metaverse. And right here, it is pointed out the fact that Horizon Worlds trimmed its goal for monthly active users to 280,000 from 500,000, but that space is attracting fewer than 200,000 users. So even after having cut their goal by roughly half, they still are nowhere close to meeting that goal, less than 200,000.
Of course, because like I said, this comes back down to the money, and you're putting money into the project, but you're not doing nothing. You're not doing nothing with the project. You're literally just like, advertise, come here, watch me, do this, do that. I can do this, you can do this in the metaverse. I can do that in real life. Okay.
1,000 users versus the 280,000 or so they were expecting after that downgraded from 500,000. Another analyst advised investors the following: investors should remain on the sidelines as it'll take many years before progress in the metaverse can be truly monetized. Like I said, that's if the metaverse is even a concept that has the potential to become something that users will want to use on a daily basis.
It's literally just PlayStation Home, but very less and very not even built up to speed in today's technology. Is terrible. It's stuck in like in 2010s. It really is stuck there early on.
And a virtual world that they'll want to partake in frequently for the long term. Currently, there's nothing appealing about the metaverse other than the gimmick of, oh, cool, a virtual world. It feels like once you get over the cool tech aspect of this whole endeavor,
just play VR,
all you're left with is indeed, as Phil Spencer put it, a really bad video game that adds nothing beneficial or practical to our daily lives. And it's not just the metaverse division that's facing rough tidings. Facebook reported that recently they saw their active users increase by 3% from a year ago, but that's much less of an increase than previous years, far from the huge growth Facebook experienced in years prior. And then beyond that, their ad revenue across social media, which is obviously a significant part of their business, fell in the most recent quarter, with sales drooping 3.7% and adding to investor concerns. This is a result of both the sort of economic recession that we're headed in, the economic slowdown that has made...
I don't think that's it, though. I don't think that's it at all, personally. I think he didn't advertise it, and when he did, it was like, hey, this is going to cost over $1,000. And people were like, what? What, over 1,000? Yes, over 1,000. While other people are looking at graphics cards, maybe a streaming PC, a game that's maybe $70. Your passion project, your metaverse, and the ability to get into it is over 1,500. What? What?
Advertisers cut their spending, and Apple's privacy changes to apps that run on its devices, a change that essentially allows users and consumers to ask apps not to track them, which Facebook has said will cost it $10 billion this year. With all that in mind, here's the big picture of what Meta's stock price looks like. You can see right here a big rise throughout the years up until 2021, before they rebranded to Meta and began focusing too much on this metaverse endeavor that has not panned out at all thus far. And then boom, you can see the huge plummeting, and over the past week even you can see a big plummet from $130 to $97.94 below $100. And so the headlines are looking like this: Facebook parent Meta is having a no good, horrible day after dismal earnings report, and they further add that revenue fell 4% in the 3 months from July through September when compared with a year earlier, from $29 billion to $27.7 billion, the company said Wednesday. Even when their main sources of revenue are waning, on top of the fact that their newer endeavors like Metaverse are not panning out in any way, shape, or form.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's going to shake confidence quite a bit. IGN also covered this story and provided even more context by noting how they've lost $9.4 billion to their metaverse endeavor so far this year, and that's significantly more than the $6.9 billion in the same period last year. As for how much of that $9.4 billion they've spent this year thus far they've made back, revenue for the Reality Labs segment alone was only $285 million. That doesn't even take care of the 0.4 here in the $9.4 billion so far this year that they've lost. Here's another headline from
they just harboring money, just throw money into it. It's literally throwing money into the fire, the hellscape of metaverse. It's like, come on, give it more money. We can do it.
New York Magazine, it's official. Meta is a disaster, and they echo everything.
Look at this picture. What? Who wants to go here? Who wants to go into this? Who would want to go into this? Like, really? Oh, man, just terrible.
Reported through the earnings report. News outlet The Guardian also covered the story and noted how this recent dip below $100 for Meta when it comes to stock price is the lowest level since 2016. When it comes to stock price, they're performing about as well as they did 6 years ago. And then the Wall Street Journal here have their own headline, Facebook parent Meta shares fall to new multi-year lows, highlighting, like other articles, that this is the lowest we've seen Meta stock dip since 2016.
But there you go, Chad, dog. Yeah, you don't need to see no more. Young put out a good video. I'll give him that. But oh my God, this thing is just woo.
Stock is now down.
Jeez, man. Yeah, we don't need to see no more of that. 700 billion. Man, like I said, they literally just throwing. He was literally just throwing money in the project, trying to save investors and talk a little scheming words to investors. Yes, give me the money to invest. While we waste all your money into a so-called passion project or an obsession, whatever the hell he's doing with that project. But yeah, Young kind of explained it mostly all. I was about to go to that, but yeah, he already got it on his video, so check him out. And yeah, Meta crashed and burned for now. We'll see how long we keep it up until they call it quits, or if we get to Metaverse 1.0, maybe 1.0.2. Anyway, yeah, there's better things to play and buy, you know. Maybe get a 4090 or something, you know. I don't know. And just get on. So terrible. Metaverse. Terrible. Anyway, later. To the next video, baby.